So yesterday we got the Supreme Court ruling, a 7-2 Supreme Court ruling, by the way, saying that the investigators and prosecutors up in New York can, in fact, get their hands on Donald Trump's financial information. There's a couple of caveats to that, by the way. It's not as cut and dry as, yeah, Trump, you got to hand this over now. It's a little more nuanced than that. But overall, he is eventually going to have to turn those things over. And the court specifically did tell him, you are not above the law. You are not immune from prosecutions and investigations. And as expected, this didn't go over well with Donald Trump. So he did what he always does. He went on Twitter and had a very public meltdown for the entire world to see. Here is the series of tweets sent out by the president following this 7-2 court ruling against him. We have a totally corrupt previous administration, including a president and vice president who spied on my campaign and got Kate. I think he meant and got caught. And got caught, sorry. I screwed up there too. That's kind of funny. And nothing happens to them. This crime was taking place even before my election. Everyone knows it, and yet all are frozen stiff with fear. No Republican Senate Judiciary response, no justice, no FBI, no nothing. Major horror show reports on Comey and McCabe. Guilty as hell, nothing happens. Catch Obama and Biden cold, nothing. A 3-year, $45 million Mueller hoax failed. Investigated everything for another president. This is about prosecutorial misconduct. We catch the other side spying on my campaign, the biggest political crime and scandal in U.S. history, and nothing happens. But despite this, I have done more than any president in history in first 3.5 years. Well, that's good. I mean, he kind of ends it with a brag after having his toddler-like meltdown there, like, so everybody else don't mean to me, and I do this. But hey, look how much I've done. I am pretty badass, right? Right? No, you're not. No, you haven't. And none of the other stuff you said was true whatsoever. See, here's what happened. First of all, because this always drives me crazy, it was not a $45 million Mueller hoax. That investigation did, in fact, turn up lots of different crimes. It's just that Mueller himself believed that his hands were tied and he could not file charges against you. He left it up to Congress. Congress dropped the ball. It didn't cost $45 million. In fact, it actually made a profit because of all the money they took from your wealthy friends. There you have that. It also did, by the way, uncover lots of instances of Russian interference. Anywho, let's get to the other claims, right? The claims that Obama and Biden spied on me. I love how you've changed it now. Obama spied on me. Now you got to tie in Biden to it too because, you're running against him now. That didn't happen. And the DOJ has, in fact, looked into that. They couldn't find anything illegal. They couldn't find anything prosecutable. Same thing with Comey and McCabe. They couldn't find anything prosecutable about these people. I don't even care if that's not a word. But that's what happened. Your people and the Republicans in the Senate did, in fact, continuously try to find some kind of crime to pin on these guys. And so far, 3.5 years in, they got nothing. And man, they have looked at everything. Even the two people that you love to point out all the time. Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, right? Still nothing illegal that you can pin on them. But here you are, having another meltdown on Twitter because you didn't get your way, because for once in your life, you may actually have to answer for what you've done. Why are you hiding these financial records so diligently? Why are you so adamant that prosecutors can't look at them? There is no doubt in my mind that these documents are going to show the president committed a crime. If you're looking at this rationally to see how unhinged he gets when these documents that he has fought all the way to the Supreme Court are now eventually going to be released to prosecutors, see how unhinged he becomes? It's because there's crimes in there, folks. That is obvious to anyone with even half a brain. There's criminal activity here. And he's going to get caught for it, and he's going to get caught for it in a venue where he cannot receive a presidential pardon. It all eventually comes crashing down. And that's what's happening with Donald Trump. He sees it crashing around him. His personal world, his professional world, and his political world are all crashing down around him with this Supreme Court ruling. So all he knows how to do is make up a bunch of crap that he hopes the public will believe about his predecessor and his current opponent. But nothing that he said in there was true. These matters have been looked into. These matters actually have been investigated by Trump's people with an axe to grind. And even they couldn't find anything after 3.5 years to nail Obama with.